Do you wonder where your food comes from? More and more people do. America's corn farmers work hard every day to grow a crop that you can be proud to serve your family. And they're doing it with an eye toward sustainability, caring for water, air, soil, and resources that fuel healthy families and more sustainable products. Take a look to find out how farmers in rural America work to make life better for all of us, from cities to their rural communities. Learn more at ncga.com. NCGA, a commitment to the future.
Yay Networks.
I'm Brandy Redmond.
I'm Stephanie Holman, and this is your weekly dose of BS.
Well, last week,
welcome.
we pre-recorded a little too early last week because there was some
Seriously
big news regarding y'all's unemployment.
I mean, yep.
It's so crazy. Let me tell you this, Trey. Have you ever met a more happy unemployed person?
I mean, you would think that Jesus just parted the seas and said, Stephanie Holman, let's go. Like, she is up here on Instagram, like being a motivational speaker now. She is just.
I have so much time on my hands. I've been like writing. I like to write, so I've just been like writing a lot. Anyways, it's very funny, but
it's like somehow
I feel like I got my life
yourself. Back. You literally like found yourself in the last 6 days.
I really have. It feels so good. I was lost, but now I'm found.
Okay, so if you have not read the news, Real Housewives of Dallas, Bravo announced that Real Housewives of Dallas will not be renewed or will not air in 2022. Now, I want to get y'all's initial thoughts on this, and then I will give you my opinions. Mm-hmm. So now that you've had a week to let that kind of set in, how are y'all feeling? And be honest, some of y'all's cast members said they were just totally shocked.
I was not shocked at all.
Me neither.
Not shocked. I feel like, everything that had been going on, there was a lot of behind the scenes drama that was playing out in the public eye. And it was kind of like enough is enough, And I do think that, like, I'm just going to put it out there that I think it's really hard right now with the cancel culture and everything going on. It's hard to be in an element where you really you're constantly kind of on eggshells a little bit with kind of the climate that's going on. So for me, I think it's probably the best thing for the show is to like take a long break, figure out like where these girls are at, maybe in a few months, a year, and maybe it'll launch back on Peacock. That's my initial thought, was like, let it all die down. 'Cause I feel like it's weird too, on the other hand, because we're such like a little sorority, like we're a sisterhood, and some of the ladies that we haven't filmed with in a while, like we've all like reunited. We can't wait to see each other, and we're going to have kind of like an anniversary party, if you will. So yeah, so I think it's kind of like, because you kind of go, okay, in the grand scheme of things, like we did something pretty amazing. And shared our lives and the good, the bad, the ugly. And yeah, so I feel like it's kind of bittersweet.
Well, I think from my perspective, it almost feels like you can breathe again. Like the race is over. Like you completed the
race is over.
Like, it's been like, it's almost like when you're, like you're in school for 5 years and then you graduate and then it's like, well, now what? It's like, oh, okay, well, we did that.
Yeah.
Well,
Stephanie, I definitely felt like it was not going to come back. I swear to you, I think I may be like a little intuitive. I'm just going to put it out there because Trey, did I not tell you? And Brandy, I think I told you the same thing. This whole season, I felt like this was the end. Like I felt like I was at peace with it. In my soul, I never felt like there was a decision that had to be made by me, even when, even when the production owner would call me and talk to me about the subsequent season. Like I told Trey, I was like, I never felt like there was a decision to be made because in my gut, I always felt like it wasn't coming back. And then also we have a friend, Lori, who's like therapist / pretty psychic. And she told me everything that happened this year, she told me what happened. Mm-hmm. Like literally I called Brandy when some of it happened and I was like, I'm going to read you this that I wrote down verbatim. It happens.
Yep. Stephanie was definitely praying the RHOD away.
Here's the deal. We loved that season. on such a high and everybody was getting along, like every single person. And this is the thing with reality TV and those shows is whenever it's an ensemble group and it airs, like it's almost like people are in this like really sad middle-aged woman like popularity contest where they will tear each other down to have a moment for themselves. And it got out of hand. It was disgusting. And it's something I did not want to be a part of. And I think it got to the point where I didn't want anything to do with it. If it was going to stay the same, it was disgusting.
Well, in looking at season 1 versus season 5, it kept progressively getting more and more out of hand.
Yeah, like it was so gross. Like the things that were happening were not okay.
Well, when you watch these shows, you're trying. I mean, the whole premise of Housewives initially was to get a peek behind the gates, like the stuff you don't normally see, the fabulous lives of X, Y, and Z. And so I think season 4 was a really rough year. And then to carry that on with season 5, it was like, there's nowhere to go from here. You know, it's like the show needs a break.
No.
And honestly, I'll give you my opinion is I think that they're going to do that with every show that's really holding the network up right now. I think they're going to move every Housewives franchise over to Peacock. They've already filmed All Stars 1. They're about to film All Stars 2. Miami's coming back. You know what? I really wasn't interested in Miami whenever it was airing. I watched the first season. That was it. But now that it's going to air on Peacock, I'm interested and I'll watch it again. I think that's somewhere that I think Bravo, honestly, is behind like 2 steps on everything right now.
I do too.
And they need to get 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
And that starts with moving all their successful shows over to Peacock.
Yeah. And finding a way to revamp their successful shows.
Yeah.
I think they're successful. I think all the shows include, and we were on Housewives. I will say and I haven't watched Housewives in a while, but I know what I lived and I know what I see online. I think that it got so dark and it was like it was almost like how dark can it go? And then it got to the point where it was so gross and heavy and where people like, I watched it to like get away. Like I liked the silly drama, but if it's too heavy, then you leave having massive anxiety about what you just watched. Like I don't like it. There's so much of that in the world. Why carry that over into your TV where everything is so heavy? Like I kind of miss the days where it was a little ridiculous, you know, like I'll see flashbacks on some of these Bravo accounts of like old episodes of like Orange County or, you know, when there's so like there are real life things going on in their lives, but they're like things in their lives. I feel like these women try to like literally destroy each other almost.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that I think a lot of that goes back to when you continue to add new cast members and change up the characters, it goes too far. Like I'm at this point, really, I don't really care to meet anyone new on any city. And so that's why I think Bravo's really revisiting the way they're handling these shows. And I do think Dallas will come back in a few years on Peacock, but have you read what they're doing in New York?
I saw something on it but yesterday that there was a possible meeting that they were having about letting people go versus keeping them. And
to say that they said that about our show and we were filming and so many people were fired and so many people were hired and that is not true.
Well, so if this is true, Jamal reported that Bravo is in talks with Tinsley Mortimer. She lives back in New York to keep her on. To keep Ramona, they would get rid of, and they would keep the new girl. Oh, I can't think of her name. Ebony. They would demote Luann to a friend of, but they would bring Bethany on. Bethany said she would only do it if she was an executive producer, which tracks. I could see them doing that as kind of a last, because New York's ratings tanked this year. Oh my gosh. And that is Bravo's pride.
Were they as bad as ours?
Pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Well, and Ramona said that our franchise was the worst one. I can't remember how she worded it or what, but she got asked a question with Andy on Watch What Happens Live, and she said Dallas was the worst one. So I'm like, oh, thanks for watching.
So that's kind of the rumor mill on what's going on over in New York, because Bravo's freaking out because I think they know things are changing. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if OC came back on Peacock.
Ooh,
if
maybe.
they filmed that whole thing and then said, that would honestly be the best thing for them to do. And I would immediately subscribe to Peacock if they said, actually, it's over here.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
That would be smart. But
well, I also think it's really weird that from what I read that New York has not even filmed their reunion, which Brandy and I know takes at least 2 weeks for them to edit.
Well, and so that was kind of the thing in the Demois article was that there was the rumor that Ramona was getting fired. And Bravo, the thing is, and I think this is also where things get too far out of hand, is when cast members try to control what happens in the media. Bravo found out who it was that was putting out that story. Bravo's not happy with that person. They're going to get rid of them. I'm assuming this is a total guess, Leah. Bravo knows what happened. It's caused a lot of tension within the cast.
Wait, so fill me in because I don't know what's going on.
Well, so someone put out a rumor that Ramona was fired. And it was
gotcha.
all over social media.
All over the place.
Oh, okay.
Where Andy had her on and she confirmed, no, I've not been fired unless you're firing me right now. And he's like, no. So that really pissed Bravo off. Bravo does not like it when cast members put rumors out there about their other cast members. So
that happens all the time.
Yes, but I think
on our show? Oh my God, yes.
But especially like I think in y'all's case as well, when the cast is not cohesive, the show won't go on.
No.
When y'all can't all get along, y'all can't it becomes babysitting at some point, and it's like, all right, we're out.
Yeah, well, I think when a cast is trying to ruin the other cast members, destroy them, then the whole show gets destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah, I will just say that. I will just say, like, for instance, with ours, I know for a hot second, like, I felt like Stephanie and I were trying to be taken down in a certain direction, which was not the case. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there were several times actually Stephanie went. There were times that I feel like people would try to start and make up rumors about Stephanie, and I'd be like, wait, what? No, that is not true. And like, you really, honestly, you have to really have somebody that is in your corner, that has your back, and that like genuinely knows the truth.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's bananas, because it'll go in this, and then that's when I think it spreads through everything. And like, so not that you're trying to control it, but if you have somebody, because production doesn't know, but if you have somebody that's actually a friend of yours, a real genuine friend, they can help you be like, hey, this is not cool. They're trying to take this in this direction.
I agree, Brandy, because I think that's where it is. I always find it fascinating because we've always had these people, and I think every franchise does, but the people who, feel like they can only get ahead if they take somebody else down on the shoulders of somebody else. Like, I think that's so disgusting. But you see it a lot. And then, but yeah, I've had people even at reunions who will, like, even this reunion, somebody came and lied and said that I was mean to them. And I was like, really? Because I'm pretty sure I have a lot of times whenever you were in the media saying I was the nicest person to you. So you can't change your mind now.
Well, I think it's hard because you'll have cast members telling you one thing, you have producers saying something else, you have social media. So I know for both of you, it was important to keep your head above water by having someone else to talk to. And I know y'all talk to Lori a lot just through filming and stuff, and that's, I know, Stephanie, where you kind of lead on like therapy a lot, because you do have so many things that are clouding your head and your judgment.
Oh yeah, I mean, I am best friends with BetterHelp right now. I definitely believe in therapy. And here's the deal: these shows, regardless if people realize it or not, are the hardest things mentally to do, because you're constantly getting so much chaos and things thrown at you, and you really have to try to stay in a really healthy, centered state. And what I love about BetterHelp is it's an online resource for therapy. So during COVID, a lot of people cannot go and see a therapist. So this is fantastic because you can do therapy from the comfort of your own home. You can do therapy through video chat, on the phone, and you can even text your therapist weekly to check in and to stay connected. BetterHelp connects you to your therapist by doing an online quiz. And based on that quiz, they connect you to the perfect therapist to fit your needs. If for some reason that therapist is not a fit for you, you can try a new therapist out until you find the perfect one for you. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off of your first month by visiting our sponsor at BetterHelp.com. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/weekly dose. The most amazing group.
Y'all, when I tell you that I really hope that Erica Jane is out here seeking some better help, it is getting nastier by the day.
Is it?
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, from the law offices of Trey Stewart, I think this is absolutely genius because the legal team that is trying to get all this money back from the Girardis is watching Beverly Hills, minute by minute and putting things out. So this past week, Page Six released how Erica Jane spent the $25 million that they're trying to get back that belongs to these victims. This $25 million is being seen as a loan to EJ Global LLC, which is Erica's LLC. Now, was it her that spent it? I don't know, but it's in her name. So as Sutton said a few weeks ago, she is solely responsible for it. Here's how she spent this money. And I would really love to see the absolute breakdown of these receipts to know just how in the world this happened. So between 2008 and 2020, she spent $14,259,000 on her American Express card.
Oh my Lord Jesus. I'm going to send this to Travis so he really thinks I'm a really good wife.
So I broke that down. That's a little over $100,000 a month.
That's insane. Okay.
That's a lot.
My bill is, I'm not going to tell you guys what my bill is because you guys will give me shit, but it's under $5,000 a month.
Is it? Mm-hmm. But I am so proud of you.
My Amex, yeah.
Oh my
Actually,
goodness.
usually it's under $4,000 a month. Yes.
I feel like mine's a little more than that. She spent $1.5 million at McDonald's Selznick Associates Agency, which describes itself as the first agency dedicated to represent dancers and choreographers exclusively. Now, I think that I did a little research on them. I think they put on her tour. So just we've done a tour. She spent $1.5 million on that tour. Now, we know firsthand what these things cost. She did venues very similar to ours. Tours are very expensive to do, but she spent way more than she made in ticket sales.
If she was flying her people, she was paying for gas for the flight.
I think she flew all of her people first class too.
Yeah. Y'all, we drove to 2 of our 3 cities.
Mm-hmm. We're ballers on a budget.
Yeah. We even ran out of gas.
I know.
We're really
That's true.
trying to stay frugal.
So then she spent another $1.4 million on unknown purchases. Don't give me this unknown. I want to know, there was $3,000 spent at Louis Vuitton. I want dates. I want actual credit card receipts. Don't give me $1.4 million in unknown purchases. And then
I want her to sell her clothes so I can buy them. That's a lot of clothes.
Exactly. She also paid Stephanie Shepard, who was formerly Kim Kardashian's executive assistant, $102,000. She paid Opius Beauty, which is an agency that represents some of the most influential artists in the world, $17,000. And then she also paid $10,000 to the New York Times and $8,000 to some other company that I think essentially got her her #1 bestseller book title. So what I'm reading out of all of this is that Erica Jane is kind of one big fraud. If you're paying magazines for articles, you're paying for your New York Times bestseller list, you're paying for your tour to be successful, what part of this is real?
So do you want me to tell you something that I learned? So I think a lot of people on New York Times bestsellers are it's kind of like a fraudulent thing. So for example, politicians, I don't know if you guys knew this, but politicians to make money will write a book. And then people, because I don't know if it's legal to give them huge sums of money, but they will buy their book or have other people buy crap tons of their book to put money into their pockets.
Yes.
So obviously, I guess you can buy enough books to be on the bestsellers list. I don't know, but that's a lot.
I also know that there is a schedule in which big books are supposed to be released. And so they'll have you release your book on a Tuesday to where there are no book sales, they know between that Tuesday and Friday to where you're going to make the list because you were the top seller in those 3 days.
Oh, that's insane.
So I think there's ways around it, but it's interesting. There's, she was on such a high pedestal, but that pedestal is just filled with cash that she was paying Keep up on that pedestal. Also, just to really twist the knife, there was a report this week that Pasadena police have found no evidence of this car crash that Erica claims that Tom was involved in 3 years ago. So the LA Times did a whole article uncovering all that. They're saying that's just BS. And now there's some pictures that came out this week of Tom. He is living. So basically this article, who put this out? This was Daily Mail. The headline is "Disbarred and Disgraced Tom Girardi forced to give up $246 million luxury lifestyle to move into an assisted living facility." Isn't that crazy?
Jesus.
I just keep thinking about that Bible verse,
What Bible verse?
For people that want to be first and, like lie and cheat to be first, they will be last.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Well, let me ask you this. I still truly believe that she probably kicks herself for doing this season of Beverly Hills.
Oh, she should.
I think she's a smart enough person. I don't think everybody is in this franchise, but I think she's a smart enough person to know that it was not going to be good legally for her to do this. I think she was in it and it happened and she just had to kind of go with the blows, I guess. But I don't think she started out knowing that there's no way. If she did, that's crazy to me.
I don't know. She filed for divorce 2 weeks in. 2 episodes in. So who knows how long they were filming, but it was no more than a month.
Yeah.
I bet you everything just snowballed. Okay, so say I'm getting a divorce from Travis, right? And say he's doing all this fraudulent stuff and I found out. Say I didn't know before, but I found out and I was getting a divorce, whatever. I would not go on TV knowing that was all going to hit the fan. I would probably be like, oh shit, I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to figure out my life and then go back. So I cannot for the life of me believe that she went on here. Maybe she did knowing that all this stuff was going to happen. I think it's, the fans are loving it. I think everyone's loving the season of Beverly Hills, which, is good for the franchise. But she is getting torn apart. I still have not really watched it.
It would 100% would have been better for her to have been more silent and to get through this right now. Instead, this is it's causing more havoc on her, just being in because she's currently in a spotlight on top of a spotlight.
Yeah. And everything that she says and does. And it seems like they're going to use against her in court. I don't know. Again, I'm always like devil's advocate. I always think, guilty until proven or innocent until proven guilty, right? Like you can't go in and nobody knows what she knew. But I do know that it's hard to spend $1 million a year on clothes and shoes and handbags and glam. So that alone just blows my mind. I still can't get over the fact that I don't know if I could physically do it. I don't know if I'm trying to think. Because I have blown, like yesterday, for example, I looked at my closet after Housewives and I realized that I have 2 things in my closet. I'm either going to prom or I'm going to the gym, but I'm never, ever going anywhere else, right? Because for Housewives, even if you go to somebody's house for Chick-fil-A, you wear really nice clothes, right? So I have this very important section of my life with my clothes that I do not own. Like I have like 4 pairs of jeans, truly. Like I don't know anybody who only has 4 pairs of jeans. But I have like 50 dresses. Who has that? It's insane. So I'm working with this girl, this stylist, and I was like, hey, I just need like everyday things. Like I have no casual clothes besides Lululemon. So, and I went there and I bought like pretty much a whole new wardrobe that can get me through the winter. And I did not spend a quarter of what I didn't even spend her Glam Squad money in a month.
Well, so what's extra is you'll have to watch Beverly Hills now because it is getting so good. So this last weekend, Sutton is over here doing the Lord's work. And she was asking Erica a lot of questions that were very uncomfortable. And one of the things Sutton did was she got all the girls except for Erica together and said, I don't feel comfortable associating myself with Erica because I don't know what she's telling us is a lie versus the truth. And when I tell you, I love the other side's lawyers. They're just so petty and it's fantastic. Lisa was like, well, you're a fair weather friend. This has nothing to do with me and I'm going to defend my friend until the end. So what have the other side's lawyers done? They said they're going to depose Lisa Rinna for blindly supporting her to know exactly what she knows as to why she's supporting her. So it kind of...
those lawyers are just real thirsty.
They really are. But it just goes to prove Sutton's point of like, all right, you're going to blindly support her. I'm not going to, because she said this stuff isn't making sense. The stuff she is telling us is not matching up with what's being reported. It's just, I can't. And I think and I wish they would have just said it. I'm not going to go on TV and say this girl's innocent when we don't know that. When we, and so it's even, I think, just knowing how this works after y'all doing it for so long. This dinner that Erica showed up to, everyone came in a chauffeured car and Erica drove herself. And I know damn well that she refused to get in whatever chauffeured car they sent because she wanted an escape whenever she wanted to get out. Like that's how
I've done that before, where they want to drive me and I'm like, no, thank you.
Right. So she knew that she was coming in for an assault.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it is so crazy. You never know, you just never know, what was filmed and they didn't show and all that stuff. And that's what always really bothered me, because I feel like any bad moment that I ever had was on TV. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying anything. And then we have other people who it's just like you're like, why would you protect them? Like they actually had a bad moment and you didn't protect them.
Mm-hmm. I will say, Brandy, I think I would agree with you because here's the deal with the show. And I think I was so aware of this that I probably didn't, like Brandy always, you were one of them. There were some other people, but you always did your job. I will say that. And if there was a conversation that had to happen, you went there. But what I've realized in Housewives is the people that go there, I kind of learn from other people's mistakes. And the people that go there, there's always a reason they go there. And it always makes sense, right? But they can't. Bravo is, audience, now we can tell, you can love to love someone and love to hate somebody, but you can't hate to hate somebody. Right. So if the other person was dead wrong and they looked horrible, they really couldn't show too much of the ugliness of why people felt the way they did. There's always more to the story, but they have to make that person still likable. They have to they try to make it as even as possible. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'm like, this is not even whatsoever, but a good producer and a good network or a good production company tries to show both sides, tries to make it even, tries to show the story. And there are sometimes they want you to say things like at the end when, in our show, I remember the producer coming up to me, the very last in, oh God, what was it? The finale when Carrie, what does she do? You guys broke in with plexiglass or whatever. To be completely honest, I did not care whatsoever, right? Like the Bigfoot man, I truly, that pissed me off. I cared. That was 100%. I felt that way. I've never been so mad at her. However, that plexiglass thing, I really didn't. I mean, that's between her, Brandy, and, if Brandy wasn't mad, I didn't need to be mad, right?
Yeah.
But they push you to say something because something needs to happen, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, that day, what people didn't see is like Brandy's father was in the hospital. She didn't know if he was going to make it. There were all these things that were happening. And then you have to go out and do your job. And I'm like, this is insane, So I don't think there's so much that doesn't get shown or doesn't get aired that makes things make sense. So I always look at it. Yeah, and it's like,
I mean, I remember Tiffany Moon's birthday party. We all had a great time. Tiffany got hammered, you guys, like where she was like throwing up. It was really bad. And I was trying to push the cameras away to stop filming her, to protect her. And they just kept filming. And to the point where I went with her to the hospital until her husband could get there.
Because you were worried about her reputation.
I was worried about her reputation and stuff. And
isn't it funny how that was fun though?
Yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute. I did what to you?
I will say you are a good friend.
Because you go back and show the truth.
You stayed at the hospital until like 4:30 a.m.
I did.
It was Brittingham came to my house and the producers were all messaging from the hospital. But there are things you just don't see.
You don't see, but in the time it's like, like in the beginning of this whole conversation, I feel like that was one thing, like you love each other, you want to protect each other and take care of each other. And then in the end, you're like, wait, what the hell happened? Like what you said, like what happened? I thought we were all good. I thought we were just filming something. And I get that there's little things in here, but you're really trying to destroy my life.
They'll run you over with the same bus you put them on. Yep. Ain't that the truth?
It's so crazy.
Well, Brandy, thankfully now all you have to worry about is toys all over your house.
Yep. And if you've ever stepped on a toy before, they hurt.
Oh, especially Legos. My God. Legos are so painful.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm like checking on my little nugget right now. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy being a full-time mom and doing all the things. And one of the things, like especially with COVID and the new Delta variant, I'm not putting the baby in a Mother's Day out or anything like that. She's going to be home with me. And one of the things that I love is one of our sponsors is Love Every. And it's basically the guesswork out of figuring out what you're going to do, how you're going to play with your baby. You get a customized box every so often. And in the box, it's unique toys to help learn and develop and play with your children. It comes with directions. And I love it because it's like fine motor skills where they learn to, use things to place on top of each other, putting something inside of something. And it seems so simple, but they make them to where they feel organic to me, and I love them. And one of the things that my baby loves is the mirror that they sent. So she likes to look at herself.
Oh.
So yeah,
she's Brian's little daughter.
She is. So Love Every's play kits are designed by experts for your child's developing brain. Each play kit is tailored to your child's exact learning stage, so they have the right toys for the right time, with new play kits delivered every few months that grow with your child. Play kits come with unique one-of-a-kind activities and playthings that are built to endure plenty of play. Take the guesswork out of your child's play. Choose Love Every today and get free shipping when you sign up to receive your play kits at loveevery.com/weeklydose. That's lovevery.com/weeklydose for free shipping. loveevery.com/weeklydose. You guys, I really do love it. I love that they're unique and like I said before, they feel very organic, like the little wooden things that come and I don't know why, but all the little noises that they send all these different textured things with noises, and it's just fun with the baby. And I can literally set her up and she just goes to town and plays with all the little things.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
So sweet.
All right, we got to end this podcast the best way we know how. That's talking about Britney Spears.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Okay, so before her deposition, I guess a little over a month ago, I think a few days prior, there was a 911 call to her house, and it wasn't really ever found out what that was about until recently. So TMZ reported this week that Britney Spears' dog was taken from her earlier this month after her housekeeper believed the pet was being neglected. Now, there was a police report filed this past week. The housekeeper said that Britney assaulted her. So more has come out about that. The housekeeper was sending pictures, allegedly, to Britney's dad. Britney's dad said, all right, take the dog. Britney believes this is a tactic. It's known that she loves her dogs, to drive her nuts, make her mad, and get her in some sort of trouble to keep her in the conservatorship. So the dog's been missing. Britney finds out the housekeeper is the one that took it, and that she has been sending pictures to her dad. Well, one, Britney didn't like that the housekeeper was taking pictures in her house. Reasonable. Two, she felt like her dad and the housekeeper were in cahoots to do this. So she was trying to get the housekeeper's phone. In that, I guess the phone got tossed out of the housekeeper's hands. And then now there's some sort of investigation as to did Britney assault this lady. Now, let me tell you, if you took my dog, I would punch you in the throat. So I think this housekeeper made it out just fine with her phone falling out of her hand, because, I mean, God bless you if you try to take my dog from me. What are y'all's thoughts on this? I think Britney is just under attack left and right, but I feel like, she's almost at the end of the road.
Let me ask you this. This is just, I'm probably going to get some shit for this, but I don't care. Do you think that they're trying to make her look crazy on her social media? Sometimes I see her post and I think they're setting her up.
You know what? I would say yes, but like I said before, I think Brandy's Instagram posts are just as cryptic as Brittany's Instagram posts sometimes.
No, but I mean, some of
I know Brandy's not crazy.
Well, she is kind of crazy.
I mean,
I don't know.
Doesn't really she just seems very. No, but it just seems kind of all over the place. It's like in some she'll be like very flowery, and the other one she's like, if you don't like my dancing, you can go fuck yourself and step on Legos and eat a turd. Like it doesn't.
That's something I feel like Brandy would say.
She is a little. I'm gonna start calling Brandy Spears.
Yes.
I don't know. I just sometimes I follow her. She's fascinating, and I love her, and I hope she definitely has her life back. But sometimes I'm like, are they setting her up? Because sometimes it just feels all over the place.
Well, I mean, I love her, but I mean, my favorite thing is this move.
Oh yeah, she does that like leans into the camera thing. You know, she did post a month or two ago something about her dancing videos, and she was like, realistically, I will never dance on stage for you all ever again as long as I'm in the conservatorship. So this is and it's all I know. So this is my one outlet to dance and like perform for you all, and that's what this is for me. It's my outlet. It's my page. If you don't like it, unfollow me. Which I'm like,
no,
get that.
It's not that.
But what's crazy is like the dancing that she does isn't the dancing that when you go watch her. It's not the same.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like I feel like what she shows us is like her signature moves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know.
No, it's more about her. Like sometimes her captions are just very entertaining.
Well,
like they're just. I'm just saying.
Well, when she like
seems so sweet, and then
when she walks into her white background, and then she does a few like modeling poses, and then she walks off, and then she comes back.
Well, and I think there's something because for a while people were commenting, they were like, if you need help, wear a red shirt next time, or if you need help, wear a red dress. And she said something in a caption a few weeks ago when her dad said he was going to step down as a conservator. She said the red dress is finally almost off. And so it's like, all right, maybe these are like cryptic things.
Yeah.
Like, tell the real super
very
fans.
Cryptic and strange. Like I feel like I need a.
It's the language we don't know.
I just don't understand some of it. And people, yeah. But then I think, is she doing it to fuck? Did you see that one where she's like, hey guys, everything's going so much better, with the conservatorship or something like that. And then she says, okay, now I'm gonna answer a few questions. And I said, keep asking.
I think that was her like
it's gonna be all about that.
I thought that was like hilarious. Yeah, I think she was being a shithead, like in a good way. Like,
yeah,
like I enjoyed that. Like she's like my favorite closer from J. Crew because they have both men and women's.
You know what? So if I was her and the media,
potato chip is like these are. I was like, these are people's burning questions. What?
If the media scrutinized me the way they've scrutinized her, I would probably mess with the media as well and be like, I mean, gonna have them write stuff about me.
It's really funny. Her stuff is so entertaining to me. I'm just like, oh wow, I just love it. Like she went from being all like flowers and rainbows to now being like, fuck off, step on Legos. Eat a turd.
But you know what's so funny is even with those things, the media will report they're like Britney Spears stuns and green dress and red heels, and she's like, what? Like in like her weird videos, but I don't know.
Oh, but I did notice she did give like an ode to like JT in one of her posts. Did you see that?
Yeah.
No. What did she do?
Told him to go step on Legos.
She told him to go step on Legos?
Pretty much.
Wait, Brandy, send that to me after we get off of this. I'm interested to see. I did not.
I was like,
Wait, can I tell you guys one thing that happened last night that I cannot believe I forgot because it was the most traumatic thing that's happened to me in a long time. And I wish I would have just took the time to breathe and take a video because it was that unbelievable. So last night, Chance and Cruz are home. Chance is in my room, like on my little blue couch that I'm sitting on right now, and which is right by the bathtub, close, like it's, in the same hallway. So I walk by him and I'm going downstairs. I'm like, hey, and I noticed the water's running for this. He's running a bath for himself. And I said, hey babe, just make sure that you're watching your bath. Because he was on there, probably looking at TikTok or something. So make sure you're watching your bath because, it's running and I'm going to go downstairs, right? So I go downstairs, doing whatever, probably playing Bejeweled, knowing me, but whatever. So then out of nowhere, I hear Chance, like this is maybe 15, 20 minutes later, I hear Chance screaming at me, Mom! And I'm yelling back. I'm like, I'm in the playroom. And then he's like, keeps yelling, right? And I'm like, what in the world? So I go out to the kitchen. It is raining in my freaking kitchen. He forgets to turn the water off, and the water floods my upstairs. And whenever it floods, it somehow gets trapped in between floors. So in the kitchen, out of every light fixture, it is pouring. It is pouring down rain. We have buckets. Every towel in my house had to be used to sop up the water. It was raining. Thank God Travis wasn't home because he would have been like, I'm much easier than he is. He would have been freaking out. But now we have to completely redo our ceiling in our kitchen because there was water damage. It was that bad. Raining from the light fixtures, like pouring puddles of rain.
So how did Travis react to that?
Well, I had it very clean because Cruz and Chance and I got in there. Like we were going to town trying to like get buckets to catch the water from. That's how much it was raining, like buckets of water from the bathtub. So we got it all cleaned up, and then I had 2 huge, loads of laundry of just wet towels that had to go through. So he came home and he actually handled it pretty well. He just, but I think if he saw it, he would have freaked out because I was freaking out because it was like it was raining inside my house. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But after it was over, I just wish I would have taken a video. That's all, because it was so unbelievable.
Wow.
I know. Well, next week we have to tell them about the Garth Brooks concert.
Oh my God. Please remind me, Trey, next week to tell about the ride.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's unbelievable.
Well, I am going to go enjoy my last few days on the beach.
I know. You have so much fun.
Have much fun.
I liked your falling for you post.
Wasn't that cute?
Oh,
so
cute. Which one is that? I saw the scissored.
It was me. Scissors? Oh, the one them holding me? No, we were falling off the swing.
Ooh, okay, I'm going to have to look at that. Okay.
Cute little captions.
I love it.
Stephanie, where can we follow you?
At Steph Holman on Instagram and Facebook.
At Brandy Redmond on Insta.
And you can follow our podcast at BS the Podcast.
Bye.
Whatever you're funny, Peacock's got it exclusively. Bears beats The Office on Peacock. Stream every moment from Dunder Mifflin and explore bonus extras and exclusives. Plus, if you're looking for more classic hits, you can stream every episode of Parks and Recreation, 2.5 Men, and every season of SNL. In the mood for something brand new? Check out Peacock's original comedies, The Amber Ruffin Show, and Saved by the Bell. Whether you're craving a new binge or familiar fave, you can find tons of comedy hits on Peacock. Get started for free at peacocktv.com.
Have questions about bringing your team safely back to the office? Very has the answers. We have all the furniture and accessories you need to create a flexible and productive workspace. Plus, we make it fast and easy with free space planning and free delivery. Visit Very.com for free installation on your next project.